very excited.
Hey y'all, Ashley with Country Roots Farm. So today I want to give you guys some tips on what to look for in the structure of your building when buying a shed, because all sheds, just like houses, are not made the same. First, I want to say I wish you guys the best of luck if you're also attempting to build a shed into a house, or if you're looking at just alternative living, or if you're just here for the entertainment. Super glad you guys are here. Thanks for watching our channel. Let's get started. Shop around. Shop at all the different places. Like, we shop for a shed for probably the whole time we've had the land. We've debated on shed to house, mobile homes, hiring a builder, living in just a camper until we build our forever house. Like, we debated on everything because we didn't want to just jump into something and make the wrong move. And so just shop around to all your different places and come up with the best plan that'll work for you. This next one, we're gonna need to look at the floor for, because I think one of the most important things is, what is the floor of your building made of? And it needs to not be particle wood. Particle wood is chips of wood that are pressed together, glued together, and then shipped out into these boards, like pressed into a flat board. And what will happen over time is, if it gets wet, it will swell. It can break down. Definitely want to get actual plywood, not particle wood floors. This is tongue and groove plywood, so it is all hooked together. If you saw our tour video, you saw in the back of our building where it had gotten messed up and it was lifted out of place. We have cut those down now and laid the floor back flat. And that was not hard to do, but we will end up doing a second layer on top of this for added support as well. While we're at it, I figured I might as well go under our building and show you another thing that is gonna add to the structural support, security of your build, is 2x6s. So these are 2x6s under our building that sit on the skids. Pretty sure these are called skids. So the 2x6s are the framing of the building, and that is a lot stronger than 2x4s. And now that you've seen inside of our shed since the tour, you can see that it is full of something. So we bought a bee business, and this is basically a commercial amount of bee equipment. And we are gonna go through it, keep what we wanna keep for our bees, and then selling things out of this to help further our goals on our shed to house and come up with some more income. So we have a lot of work to do. Another thing I wanna talk to you on the inside of the house, we're gonna walk away from all the bee equipment, is the spacing of the 2x4s on your walls. So you want your spacing to be 16 inches on center, which means the gap here is 16 inches. Let me grab a tape. So the reason that the 16-inch on center spacing of the 2x4s, make sure they're 2x4s, for your walls is important, is because if you have to follow any kind of code, this is what's required. And if you're buying normal insulation, like the fiberglass insulation, it is made to fit the 16-inch on center spacing. So if you have more than that, you're gonna have weird gaps, your house won't be as secure. So this is something really important to look for. Okay, so there are two 2x4s on top of the walls. And that is also what's required for code. You have to have two of those. And so if you don't, you can't really go back and add it, right? Because your roof is already on if you're in a building that is built. So if you're having to follow code in your area, that's another good thing to look for, is two 2x4s on the top. But we are still debating on how we're gonna do our shed, how we're gonna insulate our shed. But for now, I wanted to make sure that we had 2x6s along the roof so that there's more room for insulation. If you have 2x4s to support your roof, you have less support and less room for insulation. And some areas require at least 2x6s for your roof support. So thankfully, like, crazy thankful. This cabin has 2x6s, so there we go. Your spacers on your 2x6s, they can be 16 on center like your walls, or they can be 20, or they can be 24. It depends on the area you live in and what your local code is, so you guys will have to like look that up if it's something that matters for your county. There are people that turn sheds into houses in our county all over the place. And before we bought land in this county, we did check and make sure that it was fine and that they would allow sheds to be turned into houses, so we are good to go. I have not measured our ridge line, or our trestle gaps. I don't know what that's called. Let me see if I can reach it. So ours are 24 inches on center. So that's good to know. Yay, I did not measure it. I eyeballed it and thought it looked about 24, so really glad that it is. So another thing to consider, since we haven't decided if we are doing spray foam or fiberglass insulation yet, I wanted to make sure that we had venting, or that we were able to vent should we go with fiberglass insulation. So the two do require completely different things on how you want your house to function. But I didn't want to shut off. I'm not totally sold on spray foam. I know a lot of people are. Sorry, I'm just not sold on it yet. I need more time to research. So just in case, I was so excited to see that it has a ridge vent, roof line vent. Look at this. So the whole way down the building, there is a vent. So that is freaking fantastic. And then if we go outside, it doesn't have soffit vents, but it does have a good size overhang, so we could potentially add in the little vents along the side if we end up going the fiberglass route, which I'm just not sure yet. Currently, our building is permitted as a shed on our land, so our building permit is here because we are very proud. We would love to display it. I just haven't taken it down. So the windows, though, is something that you also need to consider, because shed windows are just that. They are made for sheds. So they are single pane, and they are not big enough to qualify as a fire exit. I think they probably are too far off the ground, and the opening is probably too small to qualify as a fire exit. So if you're having to also follow any kind of code for that, you're gonna need bigger windows. But honestly, if you're gonna be living somewhere, you want it to be safe and you want it to be insulated. And single pane windows, they're just not insulated. It's literally a single pane. While it will work temporarily, we will be cutting these out, making them bigger, and making them double paned, which I gotta show you guys. So our window, if you saw our last video, you saw it go in at the last moment. So since we, again, bought this building as a repo, it had a massive hole cut in the side of it where the prior owner had some kind of like window hangover situation that wasn't like actually attached. I'm not sure. I wasn't there when it was repoed. But basically the shed company was like, well, we don't own that window. It was not like part of the original structure. So they took it off and left it at their property, or at the hunting club property or whatever. So we had this massive hole in the side of our building. It is like 6 feet long, I believe, and 5 feet tall. It's real big. And so we had a tarp over it, and we were like, okay, we really need to get something, but a window this big is so expensive. And so we went to Habitat Restore, which is like a local store that contractors and people can donate things to, and then the money goes back into the community. So it's just like a great cause all around. We had 10 minutes to shop by the time we made it there, because they closed earlier than we thought. So we walk in, and literally at the front of the store, leaning against the wall, is the exact size window that we needed. What? And it was $135 for a 6 foot by 5 foot window that is double paned, and it was brand new. Like, I took the packaging and instructions, installation instructions off of it. It is not currently fully installed. So if you're looking at this window and you're totally about to leave a comment that there's gaps around it, I got you. I know it's not fully installed. It's in place. It's blocking rain. It's doing a better job than our tarp is doing. It's nice. It's very nice to look out of. And I'm super excited that one day our kitchen will overlook out of this window and look over the orchard as well. So I cannot wait to live here. Another thing to consider is the doors. So these work great as shed doors, but they do tend to leak. So we will replace these doors with actual French doors, and I will use them. I have a 10 by 10 shed, and we'll be moving it out here, and its doors are kind of falling apart. They're the same style door. This is particle board that these doors are made out of. This is particle board. So it's kind of falling apart on the shed that I have. It's not as nice as the siding on the other shed, and so it's gotten a little bit of water damage and they need to be replaced. So I'm gonna take these off and put them on my shed. Eventually it'll be an office. So replace your doors. And I think the last tip I have for you right now is the siding. So this siding will work great. So if it's lifted off the ground, you're protecting it from water, it's meant to last. It will last you if you take care of it. The problem is with this building, it's basically, we saw pictures. Like, this company did not try to pull one over on us or anything like that. We know that basically this building, the siding was popping off when they tried to move it because they had it fully loaded down with weight and it had to go through a ravine. And when it did, the pressure on it is what cracked the roof, popped off some siding. They put all those added support straps on the whole way down. They're still in the back, so I can show you what I'm talking about in case you haven't seen our other videos. Straps the whole way across the building to help keep the siding on and to help make this massive building make it through that ravine. Like, you know, I feel like this building's me, right? Like, rocky past, bright future. So anyway, the straps on this building the straps on this building put a bunch of extra holes in it, okay? Not great for this type of siding. So there are holes the whole way, and what happens is all those little holes are a potential for water to get in the building. So this siding is working for us now, currently, obviously. But I think I really want the building house wrapped anyway. But I'm thinking if we house wrap on top of this and then add another layer of siding, we'll have a fresh layer of siding. And I'm not saying, let me back up here. I'm not saying this is gonna get done tomorrow, okay? I understand this siding is gonna be good for quite a while. I'm talking about, like, in the future, I want my house protected because it's gonna be my house. Like, I want it to have a good coat of armor on, okay guys? So I'm thinking we will probably end up redoing the siding on top of this siding. It'll add support, it'll be sturdier, it'll be heavier, and I won't have to worry about all these holes that were all over it. I'm gonna try to show you all these holes. That's just part of it. So I feel like the best thing we could do to protect our house is re-side it. I'm gonna show you the back siding. It's a little worse than the front. So there's like this section, I'm honestly not sure. It's like the piece from the window, I guess, that they re-screwed onto the side of the building. I'm not sure. But there are like little rust stains already on these screws over here. There's full panels. Like, we will have to address this before we re-side the house because this is not okay. And then if you missed it in our other videos, if you want to see all this strapping, isn't it lovely? Also, can we talk about how fast grass grows? Like, this property wants to be reclaimed with a vengeance. So we are currently busting our butt on our current house, which is why you don't see progress really going on the shed yet. We wanted to get the property ready to have a camper come out here that we can live in a camper while we turn the shed into our house. So we have to get our current house ready to go on the market and sell it before making some more big steps out here. Basically, at this point, we have spent our savings. We are fully invested in this. It is going to work out, but we are in a transition phase. And so that'll be interesting. The transition is probably one of the hardest parts. Balancing everything, trying to have time for everything, like working full time, working after work, working on the weekends, taking our vacation time to continue to work. But this is all gonna be worth it. And so we just wanna say thank you for watching our channel, for joining us on this journey. Like, it is so wild and so exciting, and we are so thankful that you are here. So hit that subscribe button if you like this video, if you wanna continue to see us turn this into a house. We cannot wait. We are so excited. Thanks for watching.